All right, let's get into it. Today, we are going to crack the code on trigonometry. Yeah, I know, that word alone can be scary, but stick with me, and I promise by the end of this, it's going to be your biggest strength, not your biggest fear.
Seriously, let's just be real for a second. That word, trigonometry, it just sounds complicated, right? But what if I told you it's actually way, way simpler than you think? We're going to break it all down right here, right now.
Because when you break the word down, tri means 3, gon means sides, and metry means measurement. So, it's just measuring things with 3 sides, triangles. And you know what? To make it even easier, we're mostly just going to be talking about one special kind, the right-angled triangle.
Okay, so let's get our hands dirty. The first thing you need is your basic toolkit for any right-angled triangle. And that toolkit has just 3 items, the perpendicular, the base, and the hypotenuse. Get a handle on these 3, P, B, and H, and I'm telling you, you're already halfway to mastering this.
So let's start with the easy one, the hypotenuse. It's the rock, the anchor of the triangle. See that little square box in the corner? That's your 90-degree angle. The side directly across from it, that's always the hypotenuse. It never moves. It's always the longest side. Easiest one to spot.
Okay, now here comes the part that messes everyone up, but it's actually super simple once you see it. The other 2 sides, the perpendicular and the base, well, they're shifty. They change. Their names actually depend on where you're standing in the triangle, which angle you're looking from. So check this out. Let's imagine you're standing at angle C. What side is directly across from you? It's side AB, right? Well, that opposite side is your perpendicular. And the side left over, the one next to you that is in the hypotenuse, that's your base. It's all about perspective.
Okay, but what if we move? What if we walk over and stand at angle A instead? What happens then? Do the sides keep their names? Let's find out.
And boom, they swapped places. Now, from angle A, the side opposite is BC. So BC is the perpendicular, and AB is now the base. The hypotenuse, our rock, didn't move, but P and B did. If you can get this one idea into your head, you have just avoided the #1 mistake people make. Seriously.
All right, you've got your toolkit, P, B, and H. Now let's learn how to actually use them. We're going to build our first powerful tool, the 6 trigonometric ratios. And I know ratios sounds like more math jargon, but trust me, it's just a fancy word for making simple fractions with P, B, and H.
And to remember these, we are not going to stare at a page until our eyes hurt. No way. We're going to use a little memory hack, a mnemonic. It's a bit silly, you might laugh, but I guarantee you will never, ever forget it.
So look how this works. We take the first letter of each word. Papa, P, over Han, H. That's sine. BD, B over Han, H. That's cosine. And Pyoge, P over beta, B. That's tangent. So P over H, B over H, P over B. Sine, cos, tan. It's that simple.
And get this, by learning those 3, you've actually learned all 6. It's like a 2-for-1 deal. The other 3 are just the flipped-over versions, the reciprocals. Cosecant is just sine flipped upside down. Secant is cosine flipped. And cotangent is tangent flipped. You're done. That's all 6.
Okay, theory is great, but let's see how this actually works in a real problem, like something you'd see on an exam. It's time to put our new tools to work and get some confidence.
This is a super common type of problem. They give you just one little piece of information, like cos A is 4 over 5. That's your clue. Since cos is B over H, you know the base is related to 4 and the hypotenuse is related to 5. What do we do when we have 2 sides and need the third? We call up our old friend Pythagoras. H squared equals P squared plus B squared. You solve for P and you find it's 3. And once you have all 3 sides, 3, 4, and 5, you can answer literally any question they throw at you.
Awesome. Now let's add a second magic tool to our collection. It turns out there are a few VIP angles, 0, 30, 45, 60, and 90 degrees. These angles are special because their trigonometric values are neat and tidy, and they pop up everywhere.
Now, if you open a textbook, you're going to see this massive, scary table of values. Forget that. I'm going to let you in on the secret. You do not need to memorize that whole thing. You just need to memorize one row. That's it. One single line.
Here it is, the one row to rule them all. It's the row for sine. The values are 0, 1/2, 1 over root 2, root 3 over 2, and 1. That's your mantra. Say it, write it, whatever you need to do, because this one line is about to give you the answers to the whole table.
Why? Because watch this. To get the values for cosine, you just take that sine row and write it backwards. To get tangent, you just divide the sine value by the cosine value for each angle. And for the other three, you guessed it, you just flip the fractions. It's like a domino effect, all from that one row.
Okay, this is where it gets really powerful. Let's use our new table, but let's go in reverse. This time, instead of being given the angle and finding the value, we're going to be the detective. We'll be given the value, the clue, and we have to figure out the mystery angle.
So look at this problem. It says tan of some mystery angle a plus b is root 3. So we just look at our table and find where tan is equal to root 3. Ah, there it is, at 60 degrees. So that means a plus b has to be 60. Then we do the same for the other piece of info. Tan of a minus b is 1 over root 3. Well, that happens at 30 degrees. So a minus b is 30. Now you just have two simple equations to solve, easy peasy.
Whew, okay, that was a whirlwind, but look at what we've done. You've literally built the entire foundation of trigonometry from the ground up. So before I set you loose on some practice problems, let's do a quick recap of the amazing toolkit you now have.
So here's your final toolkit. 1. The hypotenuse is fixed, always opposite the right angle. 2. Perpendicular and base are relative, it depends on your perspective. 3. Remember the ratios with our silly Papa BD Piotri trick. 4. If you have two sides, Pythagoras will always find you the third. And 5. Memorize that one sine row and you own the whole angle value table. With these 5 things, you can handle almost anything they throw at you.
All right, it is your turn now. The only way to get good at this is to do it. So go ahead, pause the screen, and see how you do with these beginner questions. These are just checking if you got the absolute basics down. The definitions, the simple values, the fundamentals we just talked about. Okay, feeling good? Let's turn up the heat just a little. These medium questions will make you combine a couple of ideas. They're not super hard, but you'll have to think a bit more. So for these, you're going to need Pythagoras, you're going to need that table of values, and you're going to have to really connect the dots between the sides and the angles.
And now for the final boss. Okay, maybe not the final boss, but these are the kind of tricky questions you might find on an exam that are designed to really make you think.
These ones often mix everything we've learned together. You got to be careful and think step by step. And hey, don't sweat it if you get stuck. The struggle is where the real learning happens. Take a look at question 2, for example. It gives you sin of A, but asks for cos of C. It's testing that very first idea we talked about, perspective. How cool is that? It brings everything full circle.
Listen, you just took a massive step today. You stared down trigonometry and you won. So keep practicing, stay with it, and always remember, every single hard math problem is just a bunch of easy steps put together. You can do this, you've got this.